on the last episode of Dream Life TV.
Mom, I'm dropping out of high school. On January 5th, I was in LA, in my apartment, settled in, ready to start school.
And here I am, just living the dream in Hollywood, California. Intern for Wu-Tang, Paul Oakenfold, Simon Cowell of American Idol. I mean, I was 100% certain that I was gonna be a famous millionaire by the time I turned 21 at the very latest. But that's not at all what happened. A horrible tragedy was about to take place that would change the course of my entire life. This is gonna be the hardest thing that I've ever shared in my whole life. So I'm in Hollywood, I'm going to music school, and everything's just going right. I swear, it's like these internships are going well, I'm meeting all these successful people, and I just feel the momentum swelling. It's all happening. And then one day, my roommate comes out of his room and he's like, "Hey, Nathan, I got my uncle who he's gonna come into town for a few weeks, and he's in the music industry. Do you mind if he stays here?" And I'm like, "Of course, yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, you know, we're already doing stuff in the music industry. It sounds fun to, you know, connect and network with more people." He's like, "Yeah, man, he's really connected." So a few days later, there's a knock at the door. And it's this dude. And I open the door, and he's a big 6'3" guy. And it turned out to be my friend's uncle. And I can remember super vividly that night, I introduced myself, I was being cordial, being nice. And I said, "Hey man, anything in this house is yours. What's mine is yours." And he responded by looking at me for like 10 seconds straight, just. And then he said, "Thanks." It was super weird. It was super awkward. It was kind of creepy. So over the next few days, I remember overhearing my roommate and his uncle talking on conference calls with like 8 or 9, 10 different people. And I started to get interested, so I started listening in. And I heard them on the phone with all these super powerful people, like world famous, ultra big music artists and politicians and religious people. I said I wanted to get involved, and next thing you know, I'm this dude's intern, his assistant. And this guy was good. And when I say good, I mean bad. Like, he was a master manipulator. Like, he started talking about our values to my roommate and I, about like what our like core values were, what really mattered to us, and like leveraging those values against us to try to get us to do things for him, work for him for free, do some shady stuff sometimes. And like, we were like, no, we're not doing all that. And over time, just, you know, it started to seep in. It was like just evil, just nasty feeling stuff. He even did stuff like leveraging other people against us, like saying like your family doesn't believe in you and all this. Super manipulative, super dark. I mean, I was just an impressionable kid, you know? So next thing you know, this guy's staying at our house, sleeping on the floor in between the living room, his room, my room. And one day, I woke up in the middle of the night, and this dude was like towering over my bed. And I got fright like I'd never felt before. And then I looked down and I saw his hand under the blanket, and I realized that he was trying to touch me. I jumped up, all out of balance, and I just kind of like stumbled. I fell over off the bed, and I ran as fast as I could to the door. And I was like, "Get out!
get out. You got to get out. And then I realized that I was blocking the only door that he could get out of, so I just left. And I remember I just walked in my pajamas for 2 hours, maybe like 3 hours in the dark. I didn't even go home that night. I just snuck back over there, got in my car, and I was so confused. It was insane. Like I knew this dude was a little nuts, but I didn't think it was like that. This dude was not only a pro at manipulating innocent kids, he also manipulated some of the most powerful people. He stole so much money from so many people. He got access to my personal info, cleared my bank account, took advantage of my friend, and that spiraled me into the darkest place I've ever been in my entire life. Be f***ing smart, you know? Like, listen to your intuition. Now I know that you don't need to rely on anybody to accomplish your dreams. I don't care if you're trying to get a job at the only production house in the world, the biggest one. I don't care. Like, nobody should be able to control you. You should be able to do whatever you want to do in your life without being under the thumb of someone else. Nobody holds the key, you know, just you do. Like, no one else holds the key. I second guessed myself. I didn't listen to my intuition. And like I said before, anytime I'm doing the wrong thing, everything is hard. And every time that I've ever done something in my life that was right, everything was just easy. So, you know, just like I'll never second guess myself ever again. I'll always listen to my intuition. That's why I'm so incredibly passionate about helping kids who are ambitious and want to make it, whether it be in the music industry, film, anything that they want to do, but especially those industries that have predators, nasty people, just making sure those people are aware of what's going on so they can be safe. So I struggled for the next few years. Really hard. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to be in LA, so I ran to the Bay Area. It's the only place in between. And there was someone there that I liked, that I had a crush on, and felt like this person's stable, you know, stable personality. And I felt like maybe I could just go there, and even though I don't know anyone else, I could just figure it out, you know. I went there and tried to make it work, but I couldn't. And next thing you know, I was broke, scared, and found myself homeless, living out of my car. And it's funny because just when you think that it couldn't get any worse, something completely unexpected happened that,
Hey y'all, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to my story. I know this was a dark episode, but it's real life. And to be honest, it was really hard making this, from retelling the story to recreating the entire reenactment, everything that happened. It was just really hard for me. But when I was done, I feel like a weight was lifted off of me. Now, if anything's happened to you, I'm not going to claim to have all the answers. Everybody's different. But if you're in danger, reach out. Ask for help. Okay, don't worry about retaliation. Don't worry about being embarrassed. Don't worry about having to relive it. Reach out. And maybe, like me, try to do something creative to express what happened. Okay, it transformed a bad experience into an opportunity for me to help others. And just remember, if you're sad, if you're traumatized, if you're depressed, they win. But if you're good, if you take it in stride, if you find a way to turn a bad thing into something good, then we win. I love you. I care about you. Life is beautiful. And as long as we're safe and we have each other, we're good. Thanks for listening.